Passe Partout.
Good morning, Acadiana. We begin in Opelousas, where the closure of both parks today due to a rise in gun violence has caused some backlash from a few residents there. News 10's Kai Price spoke with some who believe shutting down the parks for Easter today is a misguided move.
After the announcement of North City Park and South City Park closing on Easter, some residents say they are unhappy with the decision.
Don't shut it down because adults acting crazy. Them children ain't asked to come here, and they having fun. So let them enjoy themselves.
Mayor Julius Alcindor released a statement on the closure of both parks, saying, quote, "We understand the significance of Easter as a time for families to come together and enjoy activities. However, our primary concern is the safety and well-being of our citizens and our community," end quote. Angèle Tronjon says her and her kids go to all of the parks in Opelousas often. She says the parks are keeping the children active and keeping the numbers of gun violence down.
If they busy right now, that's what's keeping the violence down. Like if y'all shut it down, like the children ain't gonna have nothing to do. Then when you look again, the children gonna be doing things they're not supposed to do violence-wise.
Shauna Size, community activist in Opelousas, says while she respects the mayor's decision, she says there needs to be more recreational activities for the children of Opelousas.
I am more concerned with the lack of consistent park and recreational activities. Now that has direct reflection on the children.
Sias sends a message to the community.
I want them to take note of this, around election time, and let this be an indication on who is for the community and who is with the community.
Both parks will reopen on Monday. In Opelousas, Kai Price, KLFY, News 10.
So the Jeanerette City Marshal's Office and City Court announced a warrant forgiveness program for qualified people with outstanding warrants or fines through City Court. This program will allow anyone who qualifies with outstanding warrants through the City Court to have their warrants recalled and receive a new court date without being arrested or having to pay additional fines. You must call prior to appearing in person to find out if you qualify. When you do appear in person, you must present a pictured ID. Marshal Furnist Martin explains who does not qualify for this.
If you have a warrant that's a felony warrant, or a warrant that says, what, cash bond only, or you must see the judge, well, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But if you qualify for the program, then we want to offer you the assistance to be able to come up there and you can take care of your situation.
So this forgiveness program will last from now until the end of April. Then authorities in St. Landry Parish are offering a reward for the capture of the person or persons responsible for vandalizing 2 cemeteries. Authorities say the Ashford Cemetery and units in the St. John the Baptist Cemetery in LeBeau were both desecrated by someone driving over them and causing damage to the lawns and just the graves out there. Authorities are willing to pay up to $1,500 for information, leading to an arrest in this. Anyone with information, you're being urged to call 948-TIPS. Let's go to where a Kaplan woman is speaking out after she learned the case of her alleged rapist was dismissed. According to sexual violence statistics, there are over 200,000 victims in the U.S. every year, and someone is sexually assaulted every 2 minutes in America. In fact, one Acadiana woman claims she was sexually violated. News 10's Rodrika Taylor brings us a story. This story you'll see only on News 10.
I have no problem showing who I am. I have no issue with that whatsoever. I'll put myself out there if it'll save a child. If it'll help a child, I'll do whatever I have to do. Because it's not right. It's not right for an adult and it's not right for a child. It's not right for a man, a woman, anybody to have to go through something like that.
Melissa East says in July of 2021, she was allegedly raped by a Kaplan man. She says a trial was set for January this year. The court records showed the man was charged with second-degree rape.
For a victim to have to walk to that mailbox every month and open it and see that letter that says, oh, well, we're not going to do anything this month. Let's wait another month. That's hard for a victim. especially if I have PTSD, so it's triggering every time I walk to that mailbox and open it. There's that letter. Okay, well, here's another month he's going to walk free. Here's another month they're not going to do anything.
East says she took action and reached out.
I called the DA's office and I was advised over the phone that the case had been dismissed.
She says she was informed it was dismissed because the assistant district attorney on the case could not reach her. East says that was not true.
The grand jury found that there was cause to up his charge from what originally was. So she had everything she needed, even if she didn't have me. But she did. And that's the point I'm trying to make. When you have a willing victim, why not prosecute it? Why not go through with it?
She believes other rape victims are not getting justice within the court system and hopes by her speaking out, she can create change.
If I have to put myself out there, put my story out there, open up my life, my skeletons that I may have in my closet, I'll do what I have to do to save a child, to help a child.
Rodrika Taylor reporting there. District Attorney Don Landry sent a statement saying, quote, "This case was dismissed, reserving our rights to refile because new information was presented to us. We are investigating that new information," end quote. A couple of Erath High School students won first place in the opioid addiction and overdose category of a PSA video contest. I was wondering what that PSA is there. Okay, video contest. The contest invited Acadiana residents between the ages of 11 and 18 to create and submit a video addressing the dangers of vaping and the threat of opioid addiction and overdose. Now, a panel of local media and healthcare judges reviewed the video submissions and selected the winners based on creativity, impact, message clarity, and engagement. Here's a clip of the winning video.
I care about life breathing. Don't let it be your friends. Don't let it be your family. And most certainly, do not let it be you.
Whenever you take into account stuff like this, where programs are actively allowing our peers to make videos and produce those videos for us, like, the audience is better depicted by the people making the videos, I feel.
Ava says she directed, edited, and wrote the script. Matthew Champagne, who you saw right there in that video, is the school's 2023 homecoming king. He says it was important to him to be a part of this project and hopes the message resonates with his peers. Congratulations from KLFY to both of you. Lafayette Parish students riding school buses will have a more comfortable ride starting next school year for you. LPSS announced they will soon begin installing air conditioning units on 116 school buses. LPSS says this will enhance the safety and the comfort of our students and bus drivers, of course, during their daily commute. The project, it should be completed by July. Let's continue some coverage here on an effort to help shrimpers here in Acadiana and across the state. News 10's Don D'Amico spoke with one shrimper who is encouraging the community to support local rather than buying imported seafood.
For years, the shrimping industry has struggled with imported products beginning to take over. And I talked with one shrimper who spoke out about how more people need to support local fishermen before it is too late.
They always want to laugh at our price, but they'll go pay it at Walmart, they'll go pay it at a restaurant. It don't matter. Because it's a big business whenever it's a person. Oh, well, you don't matter. We don't need to pay you that top dollar, but they'll go pay it at a store.
Many fishermen are getting out of the seafood industry as they say it is not worth the hard work with low pay. Tyler Nelton is a fifth-generation shrimper who is on one of the last boats in Delcombe still out trawling. He says the only way he is even able to stay on the water is because of retail consumers. He says it helps, but it's still not enough because the docks they sell to and other stores prefer imports.
Could you blame them? Would you want to still be a part of it? Boats like this, the only reason this boat's still able to operate is because we're retailing. Mm-hmm. The only reason I'm able to operate is because we're retailing. Because at the dock, we just can't do it.
According to Nelton and other shrimpers in the area, shrimp of all sizes are being sold at 50 cents a pound right now. With fuel prices, maintenance, and paying the crew, being able to make a living as a commercial fisherman is becoming more and more difficult than ever.
I want you to take a minute, go look on Marketplace, type in Trump boats, see how many you see for sale. Cheap, 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 can't even give them away. Nobody want to do this no more, all because of the prices.
Nelson encourages all seafood lovers to keep the once thriving industry alive, and the best way to do that is by supporting local. In Delcom, Dawson D'Amico, KLFY News 10.
A great story there, Dawson. In Baltimore, crews have begun lifting the first pieces of wreckage from the collapsed Key Bridge. Officials promise to reopen the port as soon as possible, even at reduced capacity. Bradley Blackburn has the latest on the recovery efforts.
Sparks are a sign of progress at the Francis Scott Key Bridge. On Saturday, demolition crews began the difficult and dangerous process of cutting up the wreckage, the first piece of a massive project to remove an estimated 2,000 to 3,000 tons of twisted steel. It's blocking the Port of Baltimore and preventing the recovery of the remaining victims.
We need to continue to focus on recovery. Second, we need to clear the channel and open vessel traffic.
To help with that task, the largest floating crane on the eastern seaboard is now on site, one of 7 cranes deployed. Officials hope to open a temporary channel to get smaller ships moving back in the port.
Even if it's not the deep draft, we want to take advantage of that opportunity.
The Port of Baltimore is the 9th busiest in the nation, and the cargo it would normally handle is now being rerouted.
That cargo is going to keep moving.
Stephen Edwards with the Virginia Port Authority says East Coast ports are successfully absorbing that extra traffic and limiting economic ripple effects.
I think the economic shock is local. It's not across the region, and it's not across the nation.
But thousands of port workers are now waiting.
We're all wondering how long it's going to take to clear the main channel so we can get ships back in so we can work.
The port generates over $5 billion in worker wages. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
And then millions are traveling this weekend, whether it be for spring break or for Easter today. For those hitting the road, they'll pay more at the pump. And for those heading to the airport, well, CBS's Carter Evans has you covered on that.
It's the busiest travel day of the week, with more flights taking off on Good Friday than Easter Sunday.
Among those people taking a trip, 88% of people say that they're planning to fly over the spring break period.
In fact, United is expecting its busiest spring break on record, averaging 200,000 passengers per day. This year, passengers aren't just comparing airfare, but also aircraft, especially after the door plug blew off a Boeing 737 MAX in January. That's when the number of passengers searching kayak.com for flights that were specifically on a 737 MAX increased 1,500%. Kayak says the filter makes it easier to avoid certain planes.
I looked at the card, but it wasn't a MAX 9 for me, so I was okay. But I didn't check before I got on.
And another airline mishap yesterday. 2 Delta Airbus jets clipped wings on the tarmac in Minneapolis. The FAA is investigating. United has had its own share of problems, several incidents earlier this month, including a wheel that fell after takeoff. And just last night, a United flight from San Francisco to Paris developed engine problems and made an emergency landing in Denver. But despite the recent headlines, most passengers are taking it in stride.
Probably one of the riskier flights in the world right now, flying the SFO on United on a Boeing. So I made it, so it's all good.
So the good news, more flights are arriving on time, but there is some bad news as well. Here in Southern California, a major storm is expected to hit tonight through Sunday, and that could make it difficult for some people to make it back here after Easter. Carter Evans, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And then Pope Francis presided over the Vatican's Easter Vigil service yesterday night. The Pope entered the dark and silent St. Peter's Basilica and took his place in a chair and offered an opening prayer there. The evening service commemorated the resurrection of Jesus and included the sacrament of baptism for over 8 adult converts. Trevor Sonia over in the Weather Center, and all eyes are on you. For Easter today, we had those patent leather shoes out there on the little ones. They want to know what the weather's going to be like for them. Well, the weather looks pretty good for today. We'll see warm temperatures, partly sunny skies, maybe a little bit of a breeze, but overall not too bad. Let's take a look at temperatures this morning. We're sitting in the 60s, 68 in Lafayette, 66 in New Iberia, 64 degrees in Alexandria. Satellite radar shows these clouds moving into the area. We have this jet stream that's ignited across Texas and Mexico, and it's mainly due to this low pressure that you can see spinning here across Southern California. It's steadily working eastward, and it will arrive for us on Tuesday, but until then, we'll continue to see these clouds swinging in our direction. Temperatures rising through the 70s and getting into the lower 80s later on this afternoon. Average high this time of year is somewhere in the mid to upper 70s, so we're trending above that for today and for tomorrow. You can include Tuesday in that as well. And then on Monday here on our future track, more clouds swinging in our direction. So the weather really not changing much until Wednesday and Thursday of next week. That's when we finally get that front in here, and we'll turn a little bit cooler and mostly sunny. And notice the showers showing up at the end of our model run there on our future track Tuesday morning across southeastern Texas. Temperatures in the mid-60s this morning. We rise into the lower 80s later on this afternoon, falling back into the lower 70s, so mild and humid overnight tonight. And then for tomorrow, for the start of your work week, looks like temperatures getting into the lower 80s once again. South winds at around 10 to 20 miles per hour today, and we'll put south winds in that same range for tomorrow, so that south breeze will stick with us through probably Tuesday, and then it'll turn into a northwesterly breeze Wednesday and Thursday. Here's that low pressure I was just talking about. You can see it. It's being picked up on our upper level pattern, and it looks like it will steadily work eastward for tomorrow, and also on Tuesday it'll arrive right across our area for Tuesday afternoon, but strong southwesterly flow out ahead of it will lead to a moisture increase and keep the clouds around. And then once the base of this trough moves through, we'll get northwesterly flow in the backside of it, and drier air will work in. Here's another good look at it. Notice moisture increasing here for Tuesday, and then drier air moving down to the south and east for Wednesday and Thursday. So 82 your high today, partly cloudy, warm and windy. South winds 8 to 18 miles per hour. 7-day forecast has warm temperatures for your Monday, mid-80s Tuesday. Shower chance on Tuesday at about 30%, and then turning cooler, highs near 70 degrees Wednesday and Thursday, but more importantly, morning starts in the upper 40s Thursday and Friday morning of the week ahead. So that will be when you can really feel that chill in the air. Yeah. All right. We thank you for that, Trevor. Now remember, for more information on the stories you see this morning and Trevor's local weather forecast, along with the Easter day forecast, you can log on to our